Welcome, everybody, to the very, very first episode of Behind the Cards with our very, very first guest. We've got Sal. Sal, how are you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you doing, Travis?
Man, I'm doing good. It's good to see your face again, man. Good to have you on.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
Listen, I'm super excited to talk about your story. When you first told it to me, I was like, man, I've got to hear this story in more depth.
Dang.
And I think what impressed me about it was every single collector that I know dreams about your story, right? Having that moment.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. I still can't believe that it happened.
We're gonna get into that, and we'll talk about that unbelievable moment. But before we get into that, and before we talk about the card, let's talk about who you were before the card, what you were doing. Were you a collector? What got you into collecting in the first place?
I've collected, I'm pretty sure just like everybody else, I've been collecting sports cards since I was 6 years old. Started off with just whatever I got handed down to me to getting packs every once in a while, lucking out and whatever. But I took it very serious. I think I started in 2021, walked into a card shop. I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into collecting sports cards. And I always went for the Donruss Optic. Always.
So so you, like me, you probably collected as a kid, then you had this hiatus. Was there something that drew you back to the card shop? Was there something that made you think, man, I'm going to get back into this?
I just wanted to get back into a hobby. I have a couple, but that's one of those things that, I don't know, it's mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's my collection. I built it. It's mine. I don't know. Something as simple as that.
So the entry to the card shop is usually where it ends for most of us. Go into that and you smell the product, you see the product. Yeah. So Donruss Optic was the thing for you. NFL.
Yeah. I like that. The shiny Donruss Optic. It had the lasers, it had blazers, it had the downtowns. It just always was drawn to Optic. I still am. That's my number one rip.
What was the first big card you got out of Donruss Optic?
My first big card was a rookie Brock Purdy Blazers. Big
That's
card
awesome.
in comparison to in comparison to the one we're going to talk about. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I pulled it out. I'm like, oh my goodness, I hit $300 card. Wow. I went to eBay. That's where I learned not to really sell on eBay.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I went to eBay, sold it for $300, and I was like, I made the big times, man.
That's awesome. Yeah, I fell in love with Donruss Optic too. And the first card I pulled, my son got me into collecting because I saw all of his cards and I'm like, what are you doing, man? He has a whole room dedicated to it. And I remembered as a kid collecting baseball cards and there was that itch. I was like, oh man, I would love to go back and create another personal collection. And I pulled a Downtown Duos Breeze show on a Downtown Duos. I didn't even know. I was like, is this a good card? And he was like, I can't believe I got you into this thing. And you pulled that card first thing. And I went on and I think I sold it for $1,800 when it came out. And I was just like, okay, I'm addicted, man. So how often were you in the card shop after you started? Was it a slow burn or did you go straight into it?
So it was I would probably say it was a slow burn because I went in, I got a bunch of boxes, and then that's when I started making my ties, my connections throughout the hobby. I joined a bunch of Facebook groups and started selling $1, $2, $5, $10 cards. I just started getting into it. That's
you
how
were selling cards pretty quickly. I think that's a normal trajectory for a lot of people that are collecting as you get in, and there's cards that are nice but you don't really want for your personal collection and you just sell, and that's kind of what you were doing early on.
I pulled a lot of Kenny Pickett, so I wanted to get rid of him. Get rid of him. I didn't have any hope in him, and I'm not a Pittsburgh fan, you know that.
That's so how did you come upon this giveaway that brought you to this point? Walk me through how did you come upon it?
If I told you, it is so unbelievable because I got heavy into breaks in, I believe it was 2024. I was ripping myself. I didn't know anything about brakes. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know anything. I was like, you know what? I'm not pulling anything good. I'm going to try some brakes. And my favorite team was the Ravens, so they were always cheap. They haven't had a good rookie chase from Lamar's rookie year. So I got into a wax brake, 10-box brake, a Donruss Optic. And of course, you know how it goes, the hobby. I pulled a Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews duo downtown. So it was hook, line, and sinker, dude, right off the bat. And I'm like, wow, if every brake's like this, why not? And sure as shit, I get into the next break. I got the Washington Commanders. I pulled 2 silver hollows of Jayden Daniels and his duos downtown when that card was worth like $4,000.
That's the collecting gods, though, dude.
That's
the collecting gods going, come further into this hobby before I snatch your soul.
Right. Yep, that's exactly what it was. So then, working down the line, I started not hitting any case hits or anything. So I never got into repacks before, and I saw this guy was doing a repack, and it was right before so you know how it is. There's not really a cheap repack. There really isn't. He ran one warm-up, the first box of the day, out of a run of, I think it was 60 boxes.
Yeah.
And I got the AFC East because somebody close in my family is a Dolphins fan, and he was always lucky. And sure as shit, I hit the first box, and it was a Dan Marino Kaboom. Wow. And in that box was a little golden ticket. And he said, in these 60 boxes, there's 10 of these tickets. And it's going to be ran as a raffle. And at the end of it, whoever is the last one standing is going to get a full case of Flawless, 2024 Flawless.
So a whole Flawless case to the winner.
Yep, 2 of those briefcases, $5,000 a piece, $10,000 giveaway. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and my girlfriend looks at me and she goes, "You won that box. You won that case." I said, "Yeah, whatever. First box of the day." Sure as shit, here we go. It's 10 p.m. It took all day. I waited all day to see this giveaway go off. He gets all 10 tickets, and he mixes them up, and he goes, "All right, here's the winner." And he put it on a stand, and he goes, "Now we're going to look at all the losers first." And he goes one by one. And I'm like, oh, cool. I made it to 9. I made it to 8. Oh, shit, I made it to 7. Oh, crap, I made it to 5. Oh, my goodness, I'm in the final 3. I ran back. She's sleeping. My girlfriend's sleeping. I kicked the door in. I said, "Get up." I said, "Get up. I think we won this case. I think we won this case." Gets down to the final 2. And there it is. I won it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I won it. Wow, off $80. All these dudes have been dropping $300, $400 for a division and won it. So he rips the first case. And
so he didn't send them. He ripped them for you right there. So you win it. You're like, so the first thing is first of all, you won. What's the first thing you do? Is that kick the door down to your girlfriend's room, or is that after? What's the first thing you do?
The first thing I did, I put my phone down. I said, "Let's see it. This is a big deal. Let's see if I get any collectors, anything from my PC." That was what I was worried about.
Yeah.
I didn't care about flipping a buck or anything like that. I was more concerned if I got something cool with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, you're thinking Flawless. Right? I get every one of these cards you know you're going to get, and it's one case? Is it 1 box or 2 boxes?
So again, I'm brand new, so I had no idea. I thought it was 1 briefcase. A case of Flawless is 2.
2, yeah.
So I had 2 briefcases.
Ooh.
Yeah, so first card that comes out is, I think it was a Roma Dunce RPA to 15. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, wow, okay. I'm loaded. Oh my goodness. And he rips through a few. Second or third card he gets out, I got a PC card. It was a Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen patch out of 15. Nothing serious, nothing huge. $250, $300 card. I'm like, oh my goodness, so excited, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's saying something about foil. He's talking about foil. And like I said, at this time, I had no idea what that meant. I guess that means one of one. He's like, we're looking for foil, Sal. We're looking for foil. Flashes the center card, and there's foil. I'm like, oh my goodness, we got a one-on-one here. And this is the first briefcase. So we didn't even get to the second.
First briefcase.
This is the first briefcase out of the giveaway. And he flashes it. I see the Bears helmet. I'm like, oh no. Oh, wow. Okay, now we're dealing with something. Flashes it. It's Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, NFL Shield, one of one. Puts it on the stand, flipping out. Everybody's going crazy. There's like 200-something people in the room going nuts, insane. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is a big deal. This is life-changing money. Puts it on the stand. Finishes the box, and he flips it, and there's Drake May and Bo Nix on the back.
He didn't know.
Nobody knew. We had no idea it was a quad shield. I still shake talking about the story because it was insane.
I'm gonna put this up,
and there it is.
So everybody can see it. So this, when you sent it over to me, I thought, oh, he won 2 cards.
It's one card.
That's one card. So you've got Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels on one side, NFL Shields, Drake May, Bo Nix on the other side, NFL Shields.
Yeah. Yep, all first round draft pick, all first round QB picks. Insane. I think Caleb went 1, Jayden went 2, Bo went 7, and May went 12, I believe it was.
What was your first reaction? Was there a difference in the reaction between when you first saw the front side and then saw both sides? Like, what was going through your mind when you saw?
I'm not even going to lie to you. A tear went to my eye. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is changing my life. It's going to change my life. And the dude goes, listen, we're going to speed rip through the second box. He goes, I'm going to get your phone number. I'm going to call you. So we sped rip through the second box. Honestly, nothing came out of the second box that was anything really insane. I think I got like a cool Earl Campbell out of 10 patch or something. But he calls me and he goes, dude, I'm not putting this in the mail. How are we doing this? I said, brother, I'm packing the car. I drove from PA to Tennessee at 11 p.m., got there at, I think it was 9 a.m.
Wait a minute. You left that night.
I left that night, dude. The adrenaline took me to Tennessee.
Okay, how long of a drive is that?
Oh, I think it was 10 hours.
10 hours, dude.
It was long. We got there around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning.
You know they have airlines.
Dude, I wanted the experience. I wanted all of it. I wouldn't have been able to handle to sit in the airline. I wouldn't have been. I would have been itching to get on the plane.
So he calls you. He says, all right, we're not sending this mail. Super smart. You get in the car. You drive 10 hours. At what point are you figuring out what the potential worth of this card is? When do you start figuring that out?
To be honest with you, it's a one-of-one. Nobody has any idea. The dude was like, I could see this going for $500,000, and I never thought that. I did think around the 150,000 range. I was speculating for sure.
Yeah.
But no, as it ended up selling for, I believe it was 80,000, and then I had a promise deal. I can't release exactly what the deal was, but I got more on top of it because they wanted the card so bad.
And that's pretty common in the auction space where they give a portion of, I can't remember what they call it. It's like the seller pays a premium. And
Yes.
so the auction houses, so let's talk. So anyways, take me through, we'll get to the auction here in a minute.
Okay.
But tell me, so this is a beautiful card, man. I would absolutely lose it if I saw that. You're driving up. So what's the journey like over the 10 hours? You get there, you see the card. What's happening?
So I drove the whole way. I drove the whole way. Adrenaline was just out of this world. So we get there, and you got to put it in perspective. Again, I'm new to Flawless. I'm new to all of this, like the big high end stuff. I never been into a streamer's office or a high end area. So we pull up to this building, and I walk in, and I'm just, oh my goodness. I walk in, he's got case hits everywhere. I'm like in shock. And this is after 24 hours of no sleep. I'm just blown out of my mind. I walk in, he goes, just so you have an idea what you did. He goes, look at all these cases that we ripped through, and we never pulled anything like this. And he opens a door, and I think there were 1,000 boxes, 1,000 briefcases of Flawless sitting there. I'm like, oh my goodness. He hands me the card. We take a picture. He's like, congratulations. I go take this whole pile of cards I got from these briefcases. We go stop at a Wendy's parking lot. I get out. I put it on the tailgate of my truck, and I'm looking at everything. I'm like, oh my word. What am I going to do with it? How do I even do this? He's like, I recommend going to a specific auction house. I recommend going to Golden. He's like, there's a couple other ones out there. So that's what I did. I went through Golden to take it to auction, and we drove home.
Was there any part of you that was like, I'm keeping it?
Oh, 18 times throughout the whole process. Absolutely. I didn't want to get rid of it. So later on that next week, we ended up driving to Jersey to drop it off because that's where their headquarters is. Even when I was handing it off and signed off, like you can't pull out of it. If you do, you got to pay a big price. But I even handed it off. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You got to remember at this time too, it was November. Caleb Williams is crushing it. Drake May is obviously crushing it. Bo Nix everybody's going to the playoffs. They're all huge in the season. I'm like, I don't know if I want to sell this.
So not only the card hit, the timing hit.
Timing was like, dude, it was a 1 in a billion. I will never experience that again as a collector, and I know that. And I never want to.
That when you told me the story the first time, I thought he lived what everybody ripping boxes or that are in breaks want. That moment of this is only happening once in a lifetime. And maybe lightning strikes twice, man. I don't know, but that's an amazing story. So you decide to sell it. So you're thinking to yourself, obviously the auction house is helping you kind of understand the value. You're thinking at this point, I'm going to get a pretty penny for this. Talk to me about the auction day and how that worked.
Okay, so basically, they wanted to wait. I don't remember exactly. They wanted to wait. And I said, listen, man, I was like, obviously you guys know way more than me. I said, if you guys want to wait, we can wait. But we're like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out of playoffs, and every single one of these dudes are going. I was like, I don't know if now would be the time to put it up and with all the hype around everybody. Yeah. And he goes, you know what? You're absolutely right. He goes, we're putting it up next week. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
The night the auction released is when I kind of realized in my head, okay, my life's going to change. The night the auction went down, I think they put it up at 5 p.m. Before I went to bed at 11 p.m., it was hovering around 10 grand already. And I was like, okay, yeah.
And how long did they keep that auction up? So it wasn't a live auction. They put the auction up and they let it run.
Yeah, I believe it was a complete week. It was 7 days. So it never stopped. Not one day did it not go up in increments of 10 grand. Every day was going. My seller's agent messaged me. He's like, a lot of people want this card. It's a big deal. Obviously, I'm speculating. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's the whole feeling, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And you hear all these crazy stories of one of ones going for millions of dollars. And look, Josh Allen's Topps Chrome NFL Shield went for 1.3 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was happy with whatever I got. Not 1 minute was I like, oh, if this doesn't reach X, Y, and Z. Am I going to pout? I was thankful for it. Could have ended at 20,000. I'd have been like, oh my goodness, that was insane.
Were you thinking about were you already thinking what you were going to do with the money?
Absolutely not. For real. I honestly wasn't.
That's-
I didn't know what amount I was going to end up with. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I just was waiting. I was just in limbo, for real. I was in limbo. I was like, you know what? I always wanted to be a breaker. I always wanted to get into wax and repacks and all this stuff, but let's see how much I got. Let's see what, because I knew when it comes down to a business to run off of anything, you have to have your margins, and if I even had a supplier, or how I'd even do it. So basically, I was just a young kid hoping and praying.
So I'm going to share the auction page. So final price, just over $80,000. So hammer hits, 80K. Auction ends. What's the first thing you did? Who'd you call first?
Oh, dude, my brother was over the house. I had my cousin over the house. It was a cool experience, and my family, we never experienced anything like this. We never had I'm not from anybody big, but so 80,000 sold. Like I said, I got extra on top of it because of they wanted the card, so I didn't have to pay anything. Yep. They ended up paying me extra. So I got a little bit more than that, but 80,000 hits, and I'm like, wow. Let's see where this goes.
So now, a personal question though, but 80,000 impact your life? Did that impact your life in a big way?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Dude, unbelievable. It cleared debt, cleared whatever I had, whatever situation was going on. It did that, and then I started doing this. I started running repacks.
So most people win a big sum of money and they go out and they buy a car or they buy something. They don't usually roll that into something else. Why build a sports business? Why build a breaking business instead of going out and just buying something really cool?
Yeah, I always wanted to do something. I personally trained beforehand. I did all these little things, and I always wanted my own business. I always wanted to be different. And honestly, I love community, people. I'd love to get to interact with people that I don't get to all the time. I was in the Marine Corps. I got to see people from all over the world. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to build a business. I'm just going to see how it goes. I'm going to do this thing. So did
you always think about, man, I'd love to be involved in a sports business somehow? Because I think a lot of us feel that way. Man, if I could be involved in sports, but I'm not an NFL coach. Where do I get involved? I'm not going to go work at Fanatics and, sell jerseys. So you always kind of thought about that, wanting to be in sports somehow?
Yeah, I always thought in the end I was going to end up there somehow. I just didn't know that it was going to be handed to me on a silver platter. That's what happened. I got it handed to me, and I took advantage of the situation.
Don't sell yourself short. The benefit was given to you. The blessing was given to you, but you got to take that and you got to build something out of it. And you really have. And you've what looks to be, to me, a really solid business model as a breaker. I found you online and I was like, man, I love this guy's channel. And I love it because, man, the cards you're pulling out of your boxes, dude. I got so sick of break and paying money into a break and just getting torched by the product that was being pulled. And people would be like, oh, what a banger. And you're like, dude, that's just above base. Why are you making a big deal out of this? And I came to your channel and I hit some bangers, man. And I was like,
yes, you did.
he's pulling some, he's really curated some big products. So talk to me about, you started the business. Was it hard to get into it? What mistakes did you make jumping into that? Or did it go pretty easy?
It did. In the grand scheme of, I wouldn't say it went easy, but my number one mistake is I started off getting into too many breaks. Honestly, that was my number one mistake. Now, granted, I lucked out, and a lot of those cards, I used them. But
Yeah.
my number one mistake is I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hit another big card, X, Y, and Z.
Oh, you're talking about you personally joining breaks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think,
So,
look, I think the reality is for a lot of people out there, is beautiful and awesome of a hobby that this is. People need to learn some self-restraint along that path, right?
absolutely.
I mean, you can get into too many breaks and you're off on the wrong path.
Very easily, very
Yeah.
easily. And that's why as you witnessed, I run my room a lot different, dude. If you come in here and you get blasted away, not even blasted away, I'll give you a free spot. I'll give you a free entry. I'll give you a nice card. Dude, this one guy comes in, shows me love day after day. He couldn't get on the main board. He couldn't hit a card. I sent him home with a case hit. I try to take care of the dudes that are taking care of me.
You do, man. Just talk to me real quick about the things that are important to you as a breaker. So you've come in, you had your own experience as a collector, but I think one of the things I'm impressed with you is the thing that you want to give back to the industry. And when I say the industry, I'm not talking about giving back to other breakers, but giving back to the collector. I do think you run your room very differently. So what are some of the key things that are important to you as a breaker to make sure that you're running something that you can be proud of and that collectors can get behind?
My number one thing is that feeling when you get into a break, you've been sitting there talking to the dude, you're supporting them, you get smoked, and it's like, all right, see you later. I hated that. I hated that feeling, and I don't want anybody to feel that when they leave my room. And not only that, I like to have high quality things so that when, let's say you do spend $500 in my room, there is a very minimal chance that you're going to walk away with anything less than that. There's only, I try to put the odds in the buyer's favor. You can come into my room and watch me lose my ass. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. As long as the community's having a great time, everybody feels like that they're actually getting something out of it, not just leaving upset. I try to put the most rare stuff that I can find in there. I run Black Pandora downtowns all the time. I had a gold downtown in this case.
Yeah.
Even the minimum value cards is something hard to find.
So
Rarely.
You do something that really kind of drew me in as well. You do something that you give a massive card after so many cases that you break. Everybody that's in a main break in every one of those cases through that process gets an entry in. Tell me like how you came up with that, why you do that. I think it makes it, even if I'm not winning a box out of that main break, I'm getting something that's leading me towards potentially a pretty big card. And those are pretty big cards, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. My first giveaway that I ran. So I started off with giving away little case hits. I've always done a giveaway because I want the dudes to know, hey, I understand what's going on here. I appreciate what you're doing. I want to give back. Somehow, I know I can't, hey, here's everybody a case hit, but I can try to give everybody an opportunity regardless. If you even come in and support me, you have an opportunity to walk away with something cool. So I started off, I think my first case I gave away, it was a Jackson Smith Ninjigba logos, $80 card just for free. And then I moved on to Uptowns. I was giving away Uptowns. I think I gave away 9 Uptowns. And then I was like, you know what? Let's do something big. I was like, I have some big cards around here. Let's do something big. So at the end of case 10, on case 11, I started the Black Pandora Jamar Chase rookie downtown giveaway. $4,000 card.
Jeez.
And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm going to do it over 10 cases. I'm going to lose on the first 2 cases, whatever. I said, it doesn't matter. That's awesome. And sure as shit, that drew a lot of people in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this every 10 cases. I'm going to do it. So I have 3,000, 4,000. I'll try to get bigger as I can go, but whatever I can find, I'll do bigger giveaways throughout the 10 cases. But it's just a nice little, as some people would call it, insurance. You come in, you get into the main. I know that my prices are a lot different than other breakers, but my value's a lot different than other breakers. I'm not handing you a $200 card saying, let's buy in for $200 and win a $200 card. I'm not doing that.
And I think you're hitting something that a lot of collectors like myself are feeling in the space. It's got to change.
Absolutely.
I have no problem with a breaker making money and running a business. They have to make a profit, right? They're not out there altruistically just trying to give cards away. They're running a business. So I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with, like on the retail side of things, is that I know that Hobby Box was $300. F1, for example, I love F1, love ripping F1 Chrome. $300 Hobby Box is now selling for $750. I can't do it, man. And then that's bled over into the breaking space. So I think what's going to happen is the breakers that are doing it the right way, like you, are going to have a solid following of people because they know when they hit, they're going to get extreme value. And I think that's going to change more dramatically over the coming year.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I can't stand, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well, I'm buying in for $175 and then I hit a $50 card. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't get behind that. And I think that was kind of like the old way of breaking. I think that was before everybody knew what was going on, it was, let's get rich.
I think the concept of I'm going to make you overpay because you might get a case hit, I don't see that. Because the reality is the odds are not in your favor. So you can make good money and good margins as a breaker and still give the benefit of somebody hitting a case hit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no reason why some of these prices should be what they are. Absolutely no reason. I think for me personally, when I got into a break, I felt comfortable if the breaker was making anywhere from 20% to 30% profit margin. That feels fair to me. I could justify that. Yeah. But when you do their numbers and they're making 50, 60, 70% profit margin and they're not doing anything for the customer.
I've run the numbers. It's more than that. It's excessive. And one or two people really make out on that break. Most people blank. So interesting. Man, what a great story. Unbelievable. I'm so happy for you that, one, you had that experience. Happy that you turned it into a business that everyone else can enjoy as well. As we kind of wrap this conversation down, I'm gonna ask you some quick questions, rapid fire, rip or skip, give you some things based on the industry today. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Retail blasters in 2026.
Oh, in the grand scheme of things, I like to rip it because I'm a degenerate, but I would skip it.
All right. $30 bi-directional brakes.
Man, it would have to have more context than that. What am I going after? Am I going after a case hit or am I going...
You're going after case hits. Let's say that.
I'd rip it.
Rip it. I would rip it too all day long.
Yeah.
Buying singles versus breaking.
I would definitely buy singles.
Yeah. And hyped rookie cards this year, right now. Hyped rookie cards.
Skip that.
Skip
that. Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Last question for you. What is the card that in your collecting you either sold too early or never landed but still think about?
The number one card I still think about, I had a PSA 10 gold Kobe Bryant rookie.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
I know. And I sold it too early, man. I sold it too early. I think I sold it for about $7,000. And Dude, it's well above that.
Do you know what do you know what that said? Do you go back and look at the pricing on those cards every now and then, or you just
Nope.
don't want to know?
I don't want to know. I did the same thing with the Jordan Beam team, dude. I had a Jordan Beam team. It was in a 9. I sold it for about, I think it was about $1,200. It's worth about 4 grand right now. Those are the,
If you could buy that card back tomorrow, would you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's so hard with the market because you don't.
Yeah.
It is a goat. It would probably never go below 4 grand again, but it's okay. I'd buy it. You pulled my
I know,
chain.
man.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So listen, most important thing, how do people find you? Where can they go and find you and watch you break and join your channel?
You can go into TikTok. I'm under Sal's Premium Breaks. We run repacks. Just come check us out. You don't even got to buy into it or anything. And then I have a link for my Discord. It's a good time, man. We have a great community. We have great people like Travis in there that hang out. We just talk sports, BS, break each other's you-know-whats, and have a good time. So come
And
stop.
we will pin those links in the first comment below. Sal, man, it was great having you on. I love that story, dude. I hope one day I can share my own personal story, and I know a lot of our listeners hope that they can too. So thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Another one for the vault. Hey, another one for the vault.